All year, they said that you weren't a football player, that you were just a track star. I've even seen teammates dog you out since you were a freshman, saying that you were too small and that you'll never be able to take the hits and stay out on the field. But I saw you work every single day for the past few seasons. Every offseason, you worked on every part of your game. And each week, we watched more and more people fill those seats. I've gotten more and more calls as the season went on asking, who's that number 8 you guys have? The colleges see you now. I wanted to wait to tell you, but there are a few schools here to see you play tonight. There's Kansas, Kansas State, and Wisconsin State. They'll all be here in attendance tonight. But you gotta show up. Show all these critics that they were wrong over these years. Because I know you got that dog in you. A small dog, but you got a big bite. Now, it's time to get in that ring. Show these scouts what I see in you. The best weapon in the state of Kansas.
Xavier Storm. Now, this kid is fast. He's got speed for days, runs a 4.40. But the issue, well, teams have now caught on to him. He's only 5'7", 160, a blazer to say the least. And he's close. He's really close to committing to Kansas. We are in second place by 1,500. I think the only thing we have riding for us is that, you know, he does have a visit late to Kansas in week 14. Ours is in week 8. So we're about a few weeks away, 2 to be exact, from getting him on campus. And maybe we can convince him during his visit that that's not the right move. Kansas isn't the right move. He should come to the Whitetails. So last year, we made big strides in recruiting. We got Wisconsin finally as a pipeline as we came in with 9 freshmen. We also already had Ohio, so we didn't have to worry about them. But then we did acquire Illinois as a pipeline state last season. And on top of that, we also acquired Minnesota. We now have 4 pipeline states in the Midwest, and Texas was a default pipeline, so we are getting rid of them. So let's just look at our map. I mean, this is what it looks like. This is good. This is what our goal was set out in recruiting, to acquire every single Midwestern state as a pipeline, and we're definitely on our way to doing that. Just looking at where we're recruiting, we are recruiting heavily in Illinois, Indiana, and even Iowa. Iowa is going to be the next state that we'll try to acquire, but we still need to acquire guys in the states that are our pipelines. This year, we're kind of light on Wisconsin. We have a couple of guys, but not too many. But we are definitely recruiting with the rest of the Midwest states as we put our name on the map. So let's continue in the state of Kansas as we look at tight end Bryce Greer. This is an athletic guy. He played receiver in high school, now converting to a tight end because he thinks that, he wants to be more physical, and I think it's a good move, to be honest. He doesn't have the elite speed to be a receiver, but he definitely has the size to be a tight end. He's a three-sport athlete, as man, he is really, really athletic. I think that basketball background is really going to help him at the tight end position. He does need to get better at blocking because that's the thing about moving to tight end. You definitely have to be more physical, and you have to have more technique. I mean, there's technique to blocking, and that goes underrated with everybody that switches to the position, and it's kind of a tough transition. It may take him a couple of years to really develop and be a true tight end, but he definitely has the athletic background to make him successful at the next level. I'm excited for him. Chris Coretta is a sophomore, and Javon Oliver is a junior, so I think 2 years from now, he's really going to have a chance to really touch the field and show what he's got. Now, we did recruit quarterback last season. We did recruit Bryant Simmons. He's a true pocket passer, but this year, we do have to still look at quarterback because Adam Miller's returning from injury. Who knows how he's going to look, and even if he's going to play, Nathan Beaver looks good, but then he looks bad sometimes. You just never know. I don't know if Bo Bridges is the answer, so we definitely need a couple of guys to develop. That's where we look at Justin D'Roberto. He's a really good quarterback. He's got good size. The issue is he is coming off of a torn ACL coming into his freshman season, so he will likely get the red shirt, but he will definitely be a guy we look at down the road. He's not uber athletic, but he has just enough athleticism to get by. But you know what? He has good leadership. He is a state champion as a junior, so he's going to come in with that pedigree of being a champion, and I really like his accuracy. He stands in the pocket. He takes big hits, but that just shows his toughness too. I think this is a guy we can add in and develop. I mean, honestly, he can learn a lot from Adam Miller, who's definitely our leader and coming off of injury, and Nathan Beaver as well. And who knows? This guy has a lot of potential. So we decide to actually look at defense a lot this year in recruiting. And part of the reason why is because we're not generating many turnovers, and that's definitely something we want to address. And it starts up front with pass rush, getting after the quarterback, and on the back end at cornerback. So I'm looking at Marquis Dorsey. He is a great zone cover corner, and you know what? He plays a little bit of safety. He has a lot of potential, to be honest, and he does need to develop, and that's the one thing about him. But it's okay because we do have guys to play right now. And just think about Quintaris Jones, who was one of the original guys on our defense. He's going to be a senior next year, so he's going to need a replacement. And I think that this guy could really, really benefit from learning from the veterans on the team. I think he's really, really good. He's got a lot of potential. He definitely needs to develop with his man coverage, but he's definitely a safe option here because he's great in zone, and we don't have to really worry about him developing there. So this is going to be a good guy to add to the team. I said we didn't recruit much in the state of Wisconsin, but we decided to go to Eau Claire for a cornerback, Coco Bamaye. Now, he is actually really high ranked nationally, 31 ranked. He's an all-around guy. And the thing about him is that he makes flashy plays. He's a man cover corner. He's an all-around guy. I think that this guy has a potential to be our number one corner on the outside. I think that this guy is really, really good. He's got the potential to be really great on the back end of this defense. The issue, well, he's not a great tackler, but he makes big hits at times, which makes it look great, but he does take risk. And the thing about him is that we did actually notice him scouting at Green Bay Prep, and then we just saw him pop in that one game. I was like, who is that? And I'm surprised I didn't know because this guy is an athlete, and he's got a potential to be really great on this defense. Now, we look at the state of Illinois, and their top cornerback is Jasper Robertson. He's really good. It looks like he is headed to Illinois, and we have just signed a contract with Illinois to play them next season. So we could see Illinois next season and for 2 years. Actually, that contract looks like it's being finalized for a 2-year contract to play Illinois, so we will be playing them next season. Now, that kind of brings me to the rest of these Illinois guys. There are a lot of good athletes in Illinois. I mean, a lot of them, and even a couple of them were interested in our school, but just crossed us off the list early. But one guy I do want to highlight on this in this recruiting bank in Illinois, this guy, he's been a guy that's flown under the radar in Wisconsin, and Marquette have noticed him. Let's just check out Ladarius Smith. So we just got done talking about how we added Minnesota as a pipeline state. And one thing that goes unspoken in sports, especially football, are the little things. And special teams are the little things. And we need to add to that special teams unit of ours and get us some aces. And this guy, Jadavius Muhammad, is good. He's a guy we can add to our roster, and he will be a special teams ace. He's a great tackler. He gets down the field. He is a little injury prone, but he does make sure tackles, and that's something that we do not have on our team right now, a true tackler on special teams. I think it's something that we can add to our team, and it will definitely make us stronger. I really like Jadavius Muhammad. He's got a lot of potential. Now, you hear me talk a lot about potential, but what about guys that are ready to play right now? That starts with Yang Lee, our #1 recruit on the board. We decided to go to the breast cancer awareness football camp again, and this is where we discovered him. He's another guy that floated under the radar, but so many teams started going after him after they attended this camp, and this guy just pushes everybody off the line on every single run. He's just got, the starter written all over him, 4-year starter. This guy is ready to play, and if we get him, he will instantly help that running game. And at that camp, we also discovered a nice little defensive end, Colson Cavorts out of Davenport, Iowa. This guy is a monster on the D-line. He could instantly play right away. He will be an instant pass rush upgrade. Also, he's good at stopping the run. He is relentless when making tackles. You can just see the strength on his tackles. He throws guys down. He does not let them go. He is just a monster. And if we get him on our team, there is a huge possibility he could play day one. We got to make sure we secure him, and he is definitely an under-recruited guy, an underrated guy in the nation, and I'm really, really excited to add him to our board. Another recruit from Iowa. So looking at our full board here, I just mentioned Yang Lee. He is our #1 recruit. The problem is his proximity to home is a deal breaker. We are close, but he's looking to go to Ohio. Ohio went in on him late after that football camp. Michigan State started to get in, but they were just a little bit too late. So it's looking like a 2-team race between us and Ohio. If we do get him, though, we are still within it. Let's see when our visit is, though. It's week 7, so it's coming up. So we do have a chance to get him on the campus, and we did have to get him earlier than Ohio just so that we have that bonus. But we're going to see. We'll see how it goes in that game. Xavier Storm, well, same story. Kansas is the top school, 94% locked, and our week 8 visit is coming up, but the projected cutoff is going to cut us off. But we just have that hope of having that visit to keep us in it and just dragging it out until the end of the year. The problem is Kansas is just way ahead of us right now, and it's looking like maybe they may have him in the bag. He definitely needs to get better at receiving skills, true receiving skills, but the athleticism is definitely there. Well, we have some good news though. Bryce Greer is going to be probably committing to Wisconsin State pretty soon. If you see how his rankings are looking, San Diego State is behind 1900, and I don't think they have a chance, to be honest. I think we're pretty much locked in for him. He is an athletic guy, 84 speed, 70 catching. Like I said, he definitely needs to get better at blocking, but he's a good developmental tight end. He'll have a year to sit behind Javon Oliver and Chris Coretta. Justin D. Roberto is the best quarterback we've ever recruited. Number 45 ranked quarterback out of Detroit, Michigan. He is a true pocket passer, but like I said, he has enough speed to get it done. But he is going to be a guy that is going to need to develop that throw power just a little bit. He doesn't have the greatest arm, but he's a good prospect for us. And like I said, he's going to get to be redshirted and sit behind Adam Miller, Bo, and also Beaver. So I move on to cornerback, and cornerback I really went hard this year. Coco Bamaye is definitely a guy I compare to Richard Sherman. He's 6'1", he's got the size, 207, he's got the weight, he's got the speed, he's got the man, he's got everything. And maybe he will have to redshirt because I do have a couple of cornerbacks in front of him, but he can very well play right away. Marquis Dorsey is a guy that, I honestly really like the potential of him at nickel corner. He's a good zone cover corner, and he's got decent speed. I think the C is rated a little bit too low, and he's got decent tackling for a corner. 63 isn't bad for a cornerback. And I think that this guy's got some potential. 5'10", he's got good size. We'll have to see. A guy that I did not highlight in the highlights was Lucas Mccallum, and this guy is a safety that is going to be kind of our thumper. He's got 81 hit power, he's got good tackling, but the zone and man is definitely going to have to get up, so I can see him in certain run stopping packages. He's going to be a guy that can play up in the box. We'll have to see. He's definitely going to have to develop a little bit there. The problem is we had a couple of guys that were really good, but we just could not stay in the race. That starts with Zaire Drifton, finally a 4-star. And I actually did that on accident. I made him a little bit too good. But here's the thing. We're way behind, and it doesn't seem like we're going to get him at all. He looks like he's committed to Louisville, and I don't think we're in it. Jadavius Mohammed, another strong guy on our defense, and like I said, he's a special teams ace. He's going to be good, a guy that we can kind of depend on as gunner on punts. And that's actually been a struggle of ours. If you've noticed, when we cut to the offensive possessions for the other team, they're usually set up with decent field position, and that's because our punt coverage is just not good. And also our kickoff actually allows pretty long kickoff returns. I think Mohammed would definitely contribute there. Chris Schaefer is a tight end as well that can be added to our depth at tight end. He's good. He's a good catcher, but where he excels is his blocking. I think these ratings are going to be just boosted just a little bit, because just looking at D run block and D pass block, he's definitely better than that. He's got decent hands, 71, and okay speed. I think he's going to be all right. Colson Cavorts was the guy I was highlighting that could be a starter right away. He comes in with 80 power moves. I think that block shed at C is going to go up. He's actually got good speed, 80 for a defensive end. He's a good tackler as well, decent strength, but I think this is a guy that can contribute right away. Jake State Farn is another one of our guys from Wisconsin. Wisconsin Rapids to be exact, decent speed, 82. We're getting some speed defensive ends, but the power moves are definitely a little bit too low, and the tackling is a little bit too low. He will definitely need a redshirt year. Now, let's talk about Wayne Keller. I was in on Wayne Keller pretty hard. He's got low speed, though, 79, but I think he's a really good tackler, and he's got decent zone that can develop a little bit. 65 isn't bad starting out as a safety, but the problem is Iowa State went all in, and it looks like he's going to be headed there. Logan Rolinick. Is it Rolinick? I don't know. Rolink. I think it's Rolink. He's pretty good. 6'5", 224. And you know what? We're still in the race, and he's got good size. That's what I really like about him. The issue is we have Marvin Woods ahead of him, and also Lewis, who was actually a surprise recruit last year. Richard Lewis is a guy that is really good. He's about 67 overall right now, I believe. And looks like Logan's going to come in at about mid-60s. We only have 50% of his scouting unlocked here, and I really love this. Actually, you get to see if a guy really turns out to be 66, or he can come in and be a bust at like 60 overall, go down 6 overall. You never know. Or he can go up and be a 70 overall. Who knows? That's what I like about unlocking the 50% there. But he's pretty good. He's got 75 power moves, which is pretty underrated. Now, Ladarius Smith comes in as a lower rated cornerback, and I think it's because of the play recognition. It's pretty low, and the tackling at 40. Now, I don't know what he's going to play. Remember, he did play receiver in high school. He also played cornerback. So that means that he can play everywhere. But look at that press rating at 87. So if we can put him in situations where we want to send a blitz, maybe a cover 0, and put him up and pressing their best receiver, he could probably get away with it at 87 press. That's pretty good. Jason Dead, another middle linebacker that we're trying to recruit to add to this depth at linebacker. I think this is a good guy from Lake Forest, Illinois. He is a 3-star prospect, but I think he will have to develop a little bit. The coverage needs to come up just a tad. 56 zone isn't good enough for me to get on the field, but we'll see. I think he's got some potential with his play. Alex Hickey, another outside linebacker from Iowa, another one, Iowa City, Iowa. Another low tackler, though, so he's going to have to get a redshirt year. But look at that man coverage at 74 and 85 speed. He definitely has some athleticism, but he's going to have to get up with that tackling. He's going to need a redshirt year. Then to kind of round out our recruiting board, I did decide to go after a JUCO tight end here, Josh Brown out of Apple Valley, Minnesota. He's not going to probably touch the field, but he's definitely going to be there for depth. I'm not going to redshirt him. So if he does commit to the school, which it looks like he might, he looks like we're in the lead. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure we're going to get him. He's definitely just going to be added there for depth just in case of injury. He's a good guy. And then Aaron Reed at the bottom of our board. I don't really know what type of blocker he's going to be, but I like him out of Michigan because Michigan is the next state that's probably going to be on the pipeline list come next year. Iowa was definitely on it this year, but we definitely still want to add some depth there. And then we had a miss on a receiver, Trevor Bywater, one of our custom recruits, but it looks like NIU just came in hard, and we just could not catch up, and he's already committed to NIU. So looking at our remaining schedule, we are on a bye week this week, and this is why the recruiting episode is out right now. Rutgers is next, and Rutgers is actually 3-1. Remember, they actually got demoted, and they're looking to actually get on the board once again, but they did start out 0-1 in conference. But look at their offense. They have the number 12 ranked offense, which is pretty good, and we're going to have to play some really good defense in back-to-back games as we go up against Navy. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Rutgers as its own episode, and then the Navy and Tulsa will be a doubleheader because Marquette is going to be its own episode, and then there's going to be another doubleheader here with Houston and SMU. Wow, Houston is just horrible. So they started out 0-3 this year. Remember, they got promoted into the Big Ten before. They come back down to this conference, and they start out 0-3. I mean, what? I mean, that's so bad. And then SMU, wow. I think if they continue to be this bad, I'm going to actually demote them to an independent and bring in somebody else that can possibly get some competition, more competition into the American Athletic. We'll have to see. Then we round out the season at Memphis, and then there will be a dedicated episode for Tulane since, you know, I'm not going to say any names, but some guys did transfer over to Tulane. So hopping into conference play, we are undefeated so far, but we have Navy coming up. Tulane's 1-0, so this is going to be pretty tough to kind of stay in the race here as we have two pretty good offenses in Navy and also, the Rutgers coming up, and it's going to be tough. So we definitely need to be on our A game as we move into this conference play. And look at Marquette. They are 2-1. Let's see who they actually lost to. So they actually lost to Navy 45-48. What a game that was. But look, they bounced back in a huge way as they clobbered Rice 57-14. So it looks like they might very well run the table because Navy was probably their toughest game. I think we'll have to see how good Eastern Carolina is because they did start out 3-0 and 2-0 in conference. Wow, so they are actually doing really well. But we'll have to see how they do. So that is going to do it here in this episode. Let me know what you guys think of the recruits and what you guys think of this team for the rest of the season. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.